All right, in my little tiny shed. So I think what I'll do to accommodate the fat tire, I originally wanted to cut it, just widen it, but my buddy doesn't know how to weld aluminum. I don't even know if we have the right equipment for it, so I think that I'm just going to bolt some square stock or rectangular type stock off the side of this, like slide it all the way on, and then have it welded out to accommodate a bigger tire that's maybe, it's going to be maybe a foot back from where it is right now. I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches. I'm not really sure. We'll see as far back as I need to go to get like 10 inches of clearance there, which that looks around 10 inches. So who knows? Maybe just bolt on, bring it out a little bit to make it wider if needed, and yeah, to accommodate all the brakes and chain. Then I could put the chain on the outside further out. We'll see. All right, some more parts came in today. I got the rear end, the rear hub and brake assembly, I think off of AT200. I believe that's what it was. So that'll save me a lot of time in trying to get something to work, and hopefully it'll be strong enough. Looks pretty beefy, so I'm not too worried about it. Got the sprocket. I'll go on the end here. And so now just need to modify the rear end to accommodate this. So I measured across here, came up with about 14 inches is where this was on the other bike dimensions. So I need to come out like 5.5 inches. Yeah, probably like 5.5 inches. I need to widen it. So I have this rectangular stock that I got for only $1 a pound that I want to put on the end here. Gonna have to weld some shims or something in there to bring it out some and bolt it down. So whatever I weld on the outside and over the aluminum part here, I have to put some holes through it to bolt it onto the aluminum and to this other metal piece that will be on there. So I think that'll be plenty strong enough. Hopefully it won't cause too much strain on the rest of the swing arm. So let's see, this is about 1.5 inches wide, and I needed to pick up 5.5 inches. So welding the bar on the outside is going to bring it to 3. It's going to add 3 inches on each side. Total. Excuse me. And so I'm going to need an extra 2.5 inches. Or I could just add another big chunk of the square tubing. That'll have a extra little bit of clearance on each side of a 1/4 inch. So that would be even better because I could just use a spacer or something like that. So that's going to be pretty wild looking. So let's get started doing some cutting. Okay, that was pretty much a big failure. So, again, try to use a saw. Back to working on the swing arm again. Not sure if this is a good angle. Hoping it's good enough because I have a tiny little makeshift shed. So this is pretty much what I've come up with. This will be what I use to widen the swing arm. And it's pretty close to where I need it. It'll fit inside of here pretty good. Gonna have to make some spacers. And then when I get both sides lined up, this is roughly what it will look like. Like that. And remember my dimensions across here needed to be about 14.5. Well, I think if everything's clamped down really tight, it's about 14.25. But on the rear end, and I think maybe when it comes down to finally clamping to the end here, if I adjust the shims, I think I'll be able to pick up that extra 1/4 inch there. But if not, on the rear end, there's these big spacers right here. This one I really can't mess with on this side because it'll affect the brake arm depending on where it's located. But maybe not. Because if the brake arm's up, it's not going to be anywhere near it. So I gotta kind of check that out. But on this side too, there's a big spacer, which I don't think will be affected by anything if I narrow that down a little bit. And I just don't want to add another weld in between these big ones to just give it another possible point of failure or something. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at. This needed to go back around 12 inches for the tire clearance from the back, and then I gave it a couple more inches just in case I wanted to increase the tires to like a 28 or something like that. I think right now it's a 25. So I gave a little bit more clearance for that, plus I didn't want it to get super close to this if my adjustments are off or my measurements are off. And then from the back of that, I needed to add another 2 inches to give to the rear of the swing arm, so I could put my adjusters from this swing arm into this one, the chain tightener. So I'll still be able to retain that system and make it easy to tighten the chain that's coming back here. I have no idea with how the chain's going to work at this point, because if I came all the way off from like the sprockets way up here, I need to add a jack shaft to it somehow, somewhere in here, and I don't know if I could put it a little bit above the swing arm, not have it affect anything, but somehow the chain needs to go on each side of this. So we'll see how that all works out when I get there. So that's what I'm working with. I'm gonna put a couple tack welds on this stuff for now, just to hold it in place. Need to get a lot more practice on welding before I really commit to welding this, but I kind of just want to hold this stuff in place, and if I'm able to find, I have a friend, Tim, that might be able to do the welds for me on the swing arm, so I don't have to really worry about that. I'm hoping I could get his help to do that part of it. So put these on. Well, it definitely won't go anywhere. So I could take it to the professional and they could have a good laugh at my welds. And at least it will be laid out. Easy for them to go. But I'm definitely gonna wire brush them, grind them, so they don't look so embarrassing. This is pretty bad. So I'll be tack welding the other side just so I could give it to them or have them come over and do it. Maybe, I mean, I want to get a better welder to do this stuff, just in case. But I'm glad to at least get this part of it done. It's huge. Pretty ugly. Did one decent one. No, that's not even too decent. No, no decent ones.